You'll teach how to like hydraulics and stuff work.
Hydraulics uses two essential characteristics of liquids: their ability to transmit a force or pressure and their incompressibility.
Yeah, keep going. I'm listening.
There are several examples of hydraulics at work here with this heavy machinery. They're using all sorts of different hydraulic cylinders to create force advantages, meaning that these machines, these big heavy machines that have massive weights that are extremely heavy, are able to move and operate normally and create incredible amounts of force in order to dig and to lift.
Yeah, pneumatics, cool. So what are those used for?
So why hydraulics? Well, if you use just air, then we're calling that a pneumatic system. And let's be honest, those systems are open, meaning they're not closed systems, and they rely on the compressibility, which is opposite to the hydraulics. Gases are compressible, and we compress them in things such as air compressors, and we build up that pressure. And then with bursts of air, as we let the air out, we use that pressurized air in order to accomplish work.
Sorry, what?
Examples of different tools or systems that use pneumatics. How about a jackhammer? Here we have a jackhammer. It is a very loud and very powerful piece of equipment with a very small tip at the end called a chuck. It looks kind of like a big flat-bladed screwdriver. And bursts of air push the chuck forward at very high speeds and create a lot of pressure and break apart rocks and concrete. Other things such as sandblasters, a dentist's drill. Those are all things, or air nailers, brad nailers, those are all things that use compressed air or pneumatics in order to accomplish work. Another great example of pneumatics being put to work is this sandblaster. If you check out this video here behind me, you can see this sandblaster taking what would normally be a tool that you couldn't clean with soap or water or any other sort of special agent and making it look new again by using bursts of air and small fine-grained sand or glass, and the friction created as it blasts against that surface helps to remove old dirt, rust, paint from many different hard surfaces. Of other uses as well, not just for work necessarily, but if you've ever broken a leg or sprained an ankle, perhaps you were prescribed or given an air cast. So as you can see here, it's a boot with a hard shell or hard exterior with a lining that you can fill with air. And that air helps the boot to fit snugly and securely. Or perhaps you can use compressed air or pneumatics for recreation, or to use an amphibious type of vehicle called a hovercraft. Now a hovercraft has a skirt around the edge that keeps this compressed air from just escaping, but inside or at the bottom of that craft, there are thousands and thousands of tiny little holes that air is pumped out of. Now of course when it comes out of a small opening, that's a high pressure air, and if you have enough of those, it actually has enough small little air holes to elevate that vehicle right off the ground, so it can travel across water, it can travel across land. Not great on hills and stuff because that would allow for the air to escape from outside the skirt far too easily. But these things are strong enough that they can actually carry very heavy loads, or they can support very heavy loads because of the amount of pressure that's created underneath of those crafts. There is a fan-like structure at the back that helps to propel it. So it's basically using pneumatics as well. It's using the power of gases and wind to create movement as well.
That hovercraft looks pretty cool.
Aviation and aircrafts use hydraulics for almost all of their operations. So the flaps, the ailerons, the rudders, all of those things that help to steer the plane, those use hydraulics. Now, in flight, when you are 20,000 feet above the ground, you certainly don't want anything going wrong with your craft. So in aircrafts, especially commercial aircrafts, there's a backup system to a backup system to a backup system. So if one of the systems fails, another system will step in and do the job of the one hydraulic system that may have failed. Now, if all three, because there's three different systems, hydraulic systems on a typical aircraft. If all three of those systems fail, there is a backup to those hydraulic systems, and it is a pneumatic system that is used to help propel. And you can see here in this video that there is a door, or there's a little hatch at the bottom of the airplane, and down pops this fan-like looking structure that is attached to a generator. Now remember, when you are flying through the air, you are going at tremendous speeds. Those speeds are going to turn that blade like a fan, and as that blade turns, it's going to generate the alternative power that is needed to supply the controls of that airplane.
Yeah, keep going. I'm listening.
Well, actually, all of these man-made pneumatic systems are pretty neat, but the most interesting and most complex pneumatic system that I can think of is actually your pneumatic system, your respiratory system, or your lungs. So your body is devised in such a way where when certain muscles contract, you're going to breathe in, and when they relax, you're going to breathe out, and then you have your gas exchange that happens. We are a great example of an open pneumatic system. Yeah, the lungs truly are quite amazing. With every breath that you take in, the average person is going to take in 500 milliliters of air. Do some quick math for me and figure out how many liters of air do you think you're going to breathe in a typical day?
Whoa, did you ask me a question? Okay, all right, now I gotta think. So, 500 milliliters with each breath, 12 times each minute, and how much do I breathe in an hour? So 500 milliliters is equal to, hold on, I gotta get smart here. All right. 500 milliliters is equal to half a liter, so 500 milliliters is 0.5 liters. Times that by 12, and that's going to give me how many liters I breathe each minute, which is going to be equal to 6. I'm going to times that by 60 because there's 60 minutes in an hour, and that's going to give me 360 liters per hour. I'm going to multiply that then by 24, and it's going to give me 8,640 liters. Cool, hey?
All right, so your body is a hydraulic system. The circulatory, getting that blood moving around in your body, that is all an example of a hydraulic system, a closed hydraulic system. And we need to keep it closed to keep our blood in so that it can circulate around. In order for our body to be able to circulate that blood through, we have arteries and we have veins and smaller little blood vessels and smaller capillaries all throughout our body that help to get blood where it needs to be. When blood is coming back towards the heart, it is getting pushed through what we call veins. Now, veins don't actually get pushed by the heart. But what happens is your muscles contract, as you see here, the blood goes up, and then we have these valves that close to stop the blood from flowing backwards, the direction that it's not supposed to go. Then that blood is going to come through the top of the heart back into your heart, and from there it's going to be pumped down and then back out. See, the blue represents the deoxygenated blood that just came from the body, and it is going now to the lungs, which is part of your body's pneumatic system, to be oxygenated. And then it comes right back to the heart, which in turn pumps it right back out to the body, which is in need of fresh oxygenated blood. And in order for that blood to stay separate and where it needs to be, these valves open and close, making sure that it doesn't get crossed up with places where it's not supposed to be. Often people with a heart condition might have a valve that is leaky or so on, and then you have to undergo some sort of operation or surgery that's going to repair those valves.
Yeah, those valves are pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.